Loyalty is a trait that is extremely rare in today's NBA. In a league where player empowerment and looking out for your own reigns supreme, it's hard to find players who stick with one team for the rest of their careers. Whereas before you had guys like Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, Dirk Nowitzki, and David Robinson, who played out their entire career in the same city that drafted them. Now you have guys like LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. These guys felt like they weren't getting the best possible outcomes in their old teams, and instead of sticking it out, took control of their own destiny and demanded a trade or left in free agency. Wardle Stephen Curry is one of those few players who weathered this storm with their original team until today. He's a rare breed of player that owes loyalty to his franchise for trusting him and letting him grow and blossom into a superstar. But that doesn't make him immune from the player empowerment bug. In a drop of a hat, everything can change, and Steph might not want to be a warrior anymore. Let's look at potential scenarios of this happening, in particular, a fun thought experiment that sees him leaving Oakland for Los Angeles. But before we continue, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos. At the moment, there's no reason for Steph Curry to leave the Warriors. Joe Lacob and Bob Myers have promised to do everything in their power to keep the Warriors in title contention. And why wouldn't they? The past 2 years, the Warriors were reduced to nothing due to injuries. Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green all suffered from injuries that kept them out for a considerable amount of time. And Steph has proven that he can carry a team old school style, bargaining into the MVP conversation with a 2015-esque performance. However, they lost in the play-in tournament and didn't make the playoffs. They're also going through a transition period right now. Andrew Wiggins has developed into a solid role player who could be the primary wing defender of the team. That will take significant pressure off of Thompson, who's used to being the team stopper. His Achilles injury might hamper his defensive capabilities. So Wiggins blossoming into a solid defender is great help. James Wiseman was flat out terrible at times for them, but considering that he didn't get a solid foundation before the season, he's expected to improve further. However, what Lacob and Myers have promised might not necessarily translate into actions. Despite their fighting words, Lacob has also said that he wouldn't trade any of their big assets, such as draft picks or their 2 recent picks in Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. Jonathan is a 6'7" project who has been looking pretty solid in the Summer League lately, but might have some issues in the NBA game due to his frame. Moses Moody, on the other hand, has been solid for the Warriors' Summer League team and figures to be a backup to Curry. Including Wiseman, these are 3 solid assets that could be traded for a B-tier or low A-tier player like Pascal Siakam and Bradley Beal. And indeed, the Warriors have been linked to these 2 players. But Lacob has flat out denied these rumors, which means that they're looking to contend with a team with the OG trio, plus Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody, Wiggins, and their new signing, Otto Porter Jr. Is that a contending team? Probably not. This could lead to some interesting dynamics down the line. Curry is 31, smack in the middle of his athletic prime, and clearly has more to give. His primary objective is to win more titles while he can still carry teams. The Warriors organization obviously has the same motivation. They have a generational talent that has been loyal to their organization, an opportunity that not many teams get. Of course, they're going to try and win a lot of titles while Curry is active and in his prime. But the Warriors are now trying to toe the line between a rebuild and title contention. By keeping Kuminga, Wiseman, and Moody, Golden State is looking to smoothly transition from one generation to another. They're banking on the growth of these rookies and sophomores to help Curry win now and also develop into cornerstone players that they can pivot into a new core. In theory, this is a sound way to run a team. Ideally, you'll be able to avoid being absolute dog shit to consistently bring in attendance and attract free agents. The San Antonio Spurs very nearly did that with Kawhi Leonard, supposedly taking the mantle from Duncan. In reality, this is the riskiest play for a team. There's a possibility that the players don't develop in time to help the aging star win another title, dooming them to a pseudo-rebuild. The star might be dissatisfied with the decision-making of their front office and demand a trade. Many things can go wrong for the Warriors, and it may end in Curry leaving the Warriors. Well, in this hypothetical scenario, where could Curry end up? The answer? The Los Angeles Lakers, as usual. Whenever there's a star involved in trade talks, the Lakers end up being part of the conversation. LA has always chased their image of extraordinariness, and they've proven they'll do anything to acquire the star they desperately need. If Curry becomes disgruntled with the Warriors, expect the Lakers to be one of the contenders to win his services. But is this really possible? We don't know exactly what goes on in Curry's mind, but we can safely assume that the Davidson alum owes a lot to this Warriors front office. After all, they were the one who took a risk on him and signed him to an extension despite his injury history. That contract extension year was the year he finally broke out as an MVP candidate, and also got the first ever unanimous MVP award in league history. Curry likely feels some sort of connection with this organization, and it's hard to see him turning his back on the team that allowed him to blossom. Also, is there anything even left for Stephen Curry to prove? Most stars that leave their team do so in order to ring chase, but Curry has almost nothing to chase at this point. He has 3 championships, 2 MVP trophies, multiple All-NBA and All-Star selections, 2 scoring titles, and as a bonus, 2 gold medals with Team USA internationally. If there's one thing he could chase, it's that elusive Finals MVP that pundits often cite as their argument against him. But he has a higher chance of getting that one in Golden State, where he's the main guy, versus in other teams. And a Finals MVP is borderline meaningless anyways. Not to mention, there's no way in hell that the Warriors will ever trade Curry. They will exhaust all possibility options to convince him to stay if he ever asks out. They'll have an asking price so high it will scare off other teams. They're not going to let go of their franchise guy so easily. When Kawhi asked out of San Antonio, Popovich nearly didn't trade him until he forced their hand. And in that case, there was a major issue that led to an irreparable rift between the player and the organization. And that is unlikely to happen in Golden State with Steph. Look, if ever, Stephen Curry says he wants to be traded, the whole NBA will be turned upside down. Teams will scramble their best offers, offer their best assets, in a bid to grab the services of the best player of this generation. It will be even more crazy if Steph ends up with the Lakers of all teams. Fans will be screaming bloody murder and tampering when LeBron and Steph team up in Lake Town, while Laker fans will be near insufferable with the amount of bragging that they'll do. But in reality, this might never happen. Stephen Curry is a unique player, one that is competitive as hell, but also loyal to the bone. There's no way in hell that Curry will ever demand a trade away from the team that drafted and took care of him. Ben Simmons is more likely to shoot 10 free throws in a game than asking Curry for a trade. That will be all from this one, folks. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to our channel. Let us know what your thoughts are by leaving a comment down below as well. We'll see you again soon with something new, so you can click that bell icon to get notified in the future. Till then, see ya!